I promise you, you are not going to see life in the same way once I tell you this information. This literally just happened, y'all, where I got this inspired thought to go look at this certain Abraham Hicks video, right? And you know what? It all like just came to me, right? And it clicked for me. And it was confirmation. And I'm telling this to you because this is going to help you. This confirmed things that I was already saying, but at the same time, but it just hit on a different level and clicked in another way for me, which is, now, you know how you have your senses, you have your 5 senses, you know, the ones you learn in school, which is your touch, eyesight, the seeing, smelling, hearing, you know, all that stuff, right? Okay. But the other sense is your feeling, your emotions. That is the sense. And I'm going to take it further than that. So hold on a second. Now, listen to this. When you put your hand on something hot, like if you put your hand on the hot stove or you're taking something out the oven that's super hot, what do? Like, you're not going to do that. You're going to drop it and you're not going to do that again because you just got burned, right? You're not going to keep your hand there for 30 seconds or 5 minutes. If you're seeing something that is hurting your eyes, like if you try to look up at the sun, or if you are looking into a light in a room, if you just stare at the light in the room, it's going to make your eyes uncomfortable. It's going to hurt. It's not going to feel good, right? So you stop looking at that thing, right? So if you go in a room and you smell something, like for me, if I go into Bath and Body Works, I don't like that smell. So I don't go into Bath and Body Works. If I go in there, I go out if it starts to feel uncomfortable for me. So why is it that when you feel stressed or you feel mad, you stay like that for the duration of the day? Why is that? Why is it when you feel like you just failed at something and you feel really down in the dumps and upset with yourself, why is it that you stay like that for 5, 10, 15 minutes or even a year? Whenever something happens that is similar to that, why? That is the same thing as you keeping your hand on that hot pan. Same thing. Does it make any sense? No, it doesn't make any sense. When you look at it this way, it makes no sense because your feeling is equivalent to touching. It's equivalent to you seeing. So you notice when you have these shifts in your emotion. Oh, when you feel happy. Oh, great. That's like if you smell something really pleasant, like lavender, like, that feels so good. And it makes you feel something, that sense, right? So when you feel frustrated and sad or mad or angry, why do you stay like that? Let me know in the comments below. Why do you stay like that? When it's equivalent to touching, it's equivalent to you touching a burning pot, a hot pot, and you're keeping your hand there. You have to actually tend to these things, y'all, right? So if I go into Bath and Body Works and it's a smell that I don't like and I just stand in there and then I start to get a headache, well, guess what? I chose that. That's like, I didn't have to be there. Just like you don't have to feel frustrated. You don't have to feel angry. You don't have to feel any of those things. But the fact that they are coming up for you is telling you something, right? And the way that when it comes to your feelings, what you do is you do a technique, right? You regulate your nervous system and shift the limiting belief, because the emotion that you're having, that you're feeling, comes from a belief that you have every single time. And this is what I teach my clients and students, because this is the bread and butter, y'all. This is the part that you missed. Because when you say, okay, You make your goal, you set your manifestation. All right, I'm manifesting $5,000. All right, cool. I'm manifesting starting my dream business, doing what I love so I can have this freedom. Okay. All right, boom. Your higher self goes to work immediately. You're getting actions, communication, boom, boom, boom. If you're receptive to it. And that's what I show you too, how to be receptive to that power, that connection, that higher self energy, so you can do said actions. And every action you get is the right action that shifts you into the reality where you have the manifestation in the quickest, and I mean the quickest way. So that connection that you have goes into your feelings. That's why your feelings are that type of mechanism, just like seeing and touching and smelling. It lets you know whether you are the vibrational frequency of that desire that you just decided to have, or you're not. It's kind of like that game Hot and Cold when you're younger, and then they hide something, and then they tell you like, oh, you're getting hot if you're really close to it. You're getting warm if you're kind of close to it, or you're cold if you're just like off base with it. You're like, you're nowhere near it. That's what it's telling you. So no, your feelings are not there just to be, growing up. It's not there just because, oh, something happened, so that's just normal. You just act like that. That's just the way everybody acts. No, it's not the way everybody acts. That's how everybody acts who is conditioned to act like that, who doesn't know this type of information that I'm telling you. Then yes, the people who don't quite understand or didn't look into how reality works, then yes, that would be normal. That's a conditioned response though. Because when you think about animals and stuff, like, they don't do that. Like, they don't. So when something happens to you, like today, I was feeling frustrated, right? And I was talking to my higher self, and I was like, this is what I decide to have. Higher self, God, whatever you believe in. Listen, having that connection, that 5-bar connection. When you have that 5-bar connection, the communication is quick. It's quick. Because I ask something, and then boom, within 30 minutes, within 5 minutes, within, whatever it is, you get the answer. You get the next step. If you understand how the communication goes. And this is what makes manifestation effortless, and it makes it smooth. All right? Even if there's some, you're twisting and turning everywhere, it can be smooth. It's not with the sharp ridges everywhere. But the thing is, y'all, when you feel frustrated, it's not just some random thing. Oh, I don't know where that came from. I just feel frustrated because my business is not where I want it to be, because I don't have 50,000 followers. So yes, I'm frustrated. That's normal. No, it's not. That tells you have a limiting belief. That tells you that you are not a vibrational match to what you decided to have. That's what it tells you. So your job, just like seeing, you're seeing, right? You're accustomed to seeing things, or you're accustomed to touching things. If you're not touching something hot, then you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm good. I feel good. All right. So when you notice that you're feeling frustrated, acknowledge it. Okay, I feel frustrated. This is obviously showing me something. This feeling is coming up for a reason. Your feelings come up for a reason because, like I said, you have a belief that is attached to it. It stems from a belief that you have. So I'm frustrated. It can go to the belief of I'm never good enough for things to work out. It can go right back to that when you trace it back. And I show you how to do this because it's very simple, y'all. It's not rocket science doing this. But once you practice it enough and the way that I tell you to do it, then it becomes very, very easy. And you get really really fine-tuned on like, okay, well, all right, that's what it is. Got it. Easy. It doesn't take weeks. It doesn't take days. It doesn't take hours. You can get to the point where it takes within 5 minutes, and you can see what it is, shift the limiting belief. And then when you shift the limiting belief, you have a different emotion. That's how it works every time. So when you're feeling frustrated, see what the belief is. Now, if you're feeling extremely frustrated, where your heart is racing or anything like that, regulate your nervous system. Breathing techniques does wonders. I don't care what nobody says. That stuff works. There's all different types of techniques, so see what works for you. And there's all different techniques to regulate your nervous system though, but personally, I like doing breathing techniques. So once you do that first. That I would actually recommend that first. Regulate your nervous system, especially like if you're just new to all this stuff or you're just like you haven't practiced like that. Regulate your nervous system first so you can bring your body back to homeostasis, right? And then you can identify what the limiting belief is, right? So once you do that, you shift it, new feeling emerges because now you have the belief of I'm always good enough for anything I desire. All right. So then that comes with the feeling of feeling happy. You feel happy. And it can be that simple. It's not complicated, y'all. I know sometimes with all the information out there, it can seem like, oh my gosh, what is real? What is not? That's also another video for another day on what actually is real. We'll go into that. Let me know in the comments below if you want a video on what is real and what is not, because we can get all into that. But if you know this information, this piece about that sense, that sense that you have, the forgotten sense, then guess what? Manifestation will be easy. Life is going to be a breeze in terms of it's not going to be these obstacles coming up for you, right? Because then you're going to see past that. You're going to realize none of this stuff is nothing is an obstacle. Nothing. Because when you feel something, it tells you a belief about that you have. So if it's an obstacle, there's a limiting belief, a negative belief that you have, making that thing seem like it is an actual obstacle when it actually isn't. Anything in your 3D reality, situations, circumstances, objects, people, all that stuff has no actual meaning. It doesn't mean anything. The only way it's going to mean something is if you give that thing a meaning, or you have the meaning that society has given that thing, right? Which means you still have a meaning, but it was more of a meaning that you were conditioned into having. So once you realize that, like, oh my gosh, and you know what? The other day I was talking to my sister and we were talking about language, right? And how, because I was looking up the word empathy, right? And so, but we were talking about like the Charlie Kirk thing, and you know, that was tragic. Because I really liked him. But we were talking about that though. And because he had had a quote about empathy. And so we were like basically talking about our opinions on that quote that he said. And then we got on the topic of, okay, empathy. When was that word actually, invented? Because she was like, that's like a new age word or something like that. I was like, interesting. So I looked it up and they said that word became like an English word in 1909. And they got it from a German word that did not mean the same thing as what it means in English. So then I was thinking, like, okay, so this obviously confirms that the meaning to words is whatever you give it. Whatever you give it. If I come up with a new word today and put a meaning behind it, that's what you're going to believe, because there is no other meaning for the word, right? If I tell you a word, let's see, I'm going to come up with a new word right now. Akubula, akubala, akubula, akubula. Okay? And akabula means good fortune. It means good fortune, money, and riches. Okay? Unless there is another akabula in another language, you're not going to have any other meaning for that word. So you're just going to be like, okay, means good fortune, riches. Great. When you see the numbers 1111, what does that mean to you? For me, that means I'm in perfect alignment and I'm receiving everything I decide to have. That's my meaning for it. You may have another meaning for it. If you had a car crash happen to you at 1111, you're going to have a negative meaning for that time. Do you see how everything, all these words, they're only there. Those words, the definitions for them are just more of a mass consensus thing. So that pretty much everybody is experiencing a similar reality. Yep. But, and I talked about this in a video that went viral for me. You have the society's dictionary and you have your consciousness dictionary, which is the meaning that you give to words, right? The personal meaning you give to words, which is how you are going to experience them. So that's why I was like, okay, that's very interesting. It just confirmed it for me. Like I already knew it, but it confirmed it. So next time you are talking to somebody, you need to start identifying, okay, what do I actually believe about this? What is the meaning that I'm actually giving this word? Because you're stringing along these words, and think about the meaning you're giving them. It's something to really think about, y'all, because that's how you're experiencing your reality. So be aware. All of this stuff is self-awareness. Self-awareness to a T. Because once you have this self-awareness, then you're going to realize it's going to open up a whole new reality for you. More of a playful one where you're like, okay, I can like, what do I want to create? What do I want to, like, what meaning do I want to give this? What meaning do I want to give that? Like, what do you want to do? What meaning are you giving this video? I've said that in multiple videos before because you need practice. Okay. What meaning are you giving this video now that you've seen it? Let me know in the comments below. What meaning are you giving this? Because the more practice that you have, the more you're going to recognize these things, where it's not going to be like an unconscious thing. You know, when something happens on social media that you don't like that happens, you're going to be like, oh, that's because I'm giving it the meaning of I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not blah, 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 da, da, da. Okay. Now you can shift the meaning because those are literally just beliefs that you have. That's how it all goes, y'all. And it's like, it's crazy how complex that it was made out to be. Let's put it that way. It was made out to be something so complex, like, oh, this is just, this is just the unknown. Like, we don't know. And like, no, we know. All of this stuff that you're seeing, you're experiencing, is by your own belief. Think about it. When you're a baby, what are you experiencing? If you're in the womb, what are you experiencing? Or let's put it this way. If you don't have any beliefs, what happens? You don't experience nothing. Well, nothing would still be an experience. But you're more than likely you just wouldn't be alive if you don't have any beliefs at all. Because you have to experience something. If you don't have a belief, you don't have a reality. See what I'm saying? But even nothingness is experiencing it. Because if I'm in a room, if I'm in a white room, and then I say, man, but it's white. I would know it's white. That's an experience. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's really thought-provoking when you think about this stuff. And the point of this too is to get you thinking, get the gears turning, and open your mind up. Now, I'm not claiming to know everything, because part of it, enlightenment, is being able to say, I don't know. I don't know everything. But I know what I need to know when I need to know it. Like this information today, yeah, it's when I needed to know it. It came about where it's like, oh, okay. So now I'm making a video on it because that was my inspired action to do this. This is how it works, y'all. You follow your inspired action because you are in tune with your emotions, and you know your higher self communicates with you with your emotions. You know that's how it communicates with you. That's how you can translate the vibrational frequency, right? So that's how you know it's the next step, right? So when I was doing this, I got the inspired thought. Right? It came through, the inspired thought. And I was curious. A feeling emerged of curiosity. So because I felt curious, that lets me freaking know that is from higher self, right? Your emotions are always telling you something. Like I said, even if I felt frustrated when I got that, if I got the action to watch the video and I felt frustrated, oh my gosh, if it just happened, that is still higher self. Because remember, your thing is to shift the limiting belief, regulate your nervous system, and be back to smelling something good. Just like you leave out Bath and Body Works. Now it smells, the fresh air smells good. That's what you do. You don't stay in Bath and Body Works for 24 hours until you have a migraine. You don't do that. So yes, no wonder if you're frustrated and mad for 24 months and then you feel depressed. No wonder you didn't leave out Bath and Body Works. So pay attention, y'all. Just pay attention to this and let this be an example for you. Because I gave you plenty of examples with me making this video. When you act on the things you're curious about, on the things you're excited about, that you're happy about, that light you up. And I'm not saying it has to be you making a video or you doing something in business. It can be something as simple as, okay, before this video and before all that other stuff I told you, I was watching The Wrong Paris, because I was excited to do that. It's early in the morning and I'm watching The Wrong Paris because I'm excited to do that. And you know what happened? Oh my gosh. Okay, so when I did that was something I was excited to do, and eat my Buddha popcorn, which I was excited to do. And what happened after me being in alignment, I got that inspired action to watch that video, and I was excited and I was curious about that. And from watching that, I had a huge epiphany go off and got the inspired action to make this video. I felt excited about making this video, and then boom, bada bang, I made the video. That is that higher energy connection where it is just like boom, 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 right action, right action, right action. Like you're just, it feels good. That's how I can describe it. It feels amazing. And you're going to have a weight lifted off of your shoulders when you remove the obstacles, when they dissolve. The obstacles don't seem so obstacle-y anymore. When the problems don't seem so problem-y anymore, because they don't have to be. You can experience it that way. That's how powerful you are. Or you can choose to experience in the opposite way. So Watch what you are giving the meaning to, because that's going to determine everything. Understand your emotions. That is the key to all of this, though, y'all. I'm not even kidding with you. And that's something, and it's so interesting because that is something that most people don't understand, is their emotions. Does it happen to you where you just get these emotions and it just seems like, oh, whoa, that just came out of nowhere? Or you're triggered by the same thing every day? And most people don't know how to handle that. Do you know how to handle that? Most people will go into, oh, well, let me just scroll on TikTok. Let me just go binge watch a show. Let me go eat some potato chips. Let me escape this. Let me go smoke. Let me go escape this. You don't have to, because it's showing you something. That behavior of escapism is tied to a belief. Yep. Because all behaviors, all actions are tied to a belief, whether that's positive or negative. In this case, that would be a limiting belief or a negative belief, because you're trying to escape something, to resist something. Let it be easy. But I'm going to cut this video short now. This went, it turned out to be the perfect amount of time for me to get my message across. And that's another thing, when I stop these videos, that is when I prefer to stop these videos. I don't stop them because it's like, it's been 25 minutes, so I'm going to stop the video. No, I don't do it like that. I do it. You have to know your feelings, y'all. You have to know. Well, I guess you don't have to, but it would behoove you to know, so that you can make this stuff easy for yourself. Know who you are. This is part of knowing who you are, discovering more of yourself. When you understand how the feeling, emotional mechanism works. And it's worked for me, so it'll work for you too. But I appreciate you watching this video and subscribing right down below. I'm Brand Victoria, your new manifestation / mindset coach. And I have all my resources right down in the description below, where I have my CEO Manifestor Workbook Bundle. And I give you the basic template so that you can shift your limiting beliefs, so that you can finally start receiving money. And you can finally start experiencing abundance. And you can finally start having those great ideas just come to you and have that electricity, that power, that higher self energy, and being able to translate it and do the action, where you can finally have a positive mindset, peace of mind, and start reaching your goals. Do it like that. And it's so cool. Yesterday, y'all, I made I combined manifestation and working out, and it's so good. Go check that video out. It was from yesterday. It's a Queen Glow Up workout. Be in the feminine energy, your goddess queen energy, while you're manifesting, while you're working out. But I will see you in the next one.